Nick here, and today I want to show you how to play a song called Archie, Marry Me by a band called Alvvays. So this is a pretty fun, relatively easy song to learn how to play. It's 4 chords and a lot of strumming. And I guess what we can do to kind of delve into it a little bit more is I'll talk about a few different ways you could strum, and also we'll look at how to play the intro riff there. Okay, so let's just start off and look at the basic chord progression that underlies most of this song, and that is G, D, A minor, and C with G in the bass. So that's a 4-bar progression. The verse is going to play through that 4 times for a total of 16 bars, and the chorus goes through that progression twice for a total of 8 bars. So right there you have most of the song. Okay, so this is a pretty simple chord progression. Let's just walk through it slowly, and we'll strum 1 strum per beat. I think we can do down strums. We'll start off with a G, and just about any way that you want to play this G is fine. You can leave the 2nd string open, or you can hit that 2nd string 3rd fret note. And then we're going to play that 4 times. So we have 1 bar of G. Then we're going to go to D for 1 bar. Then we're going to go to A minor for 1 bar. And then we're going to go to C with G in the bass for 1 bar. So most of these chords are pretty simple, and you're probably familiar with them. C with G in the bass might be new, and this is a really cool chord voicing. Basically, you have your regular C chord shape here, which most people play with these fingers that I'm using. But what you need to do to get C with G in the bass is use your pinky to play the 5th string 3rd fret note, and then you use your 3rd finger, your ring finger on your left hand, to play the 6th string 3rd fret note. So it really has a nice sound when you put that G in the bass there. Okay, so that's C with G in the bass. Okay, so the chords are pretty simple, and what I thought I'd do is talk a little bit about the different strumming patterns that you could apply. Just in general, I think a downstroke per beat will work. So the verse would be like G, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, C with G, 2, 3, 4. Okay, pretty simple. One variation that you could add would be to do like 2 quarter notes and then 1/8 notes for the rest of the bar. So the count's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, right? And the strumming is going to be down, 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 up, down, up. Okay, so that's a nice strumming pattern that you could use as well. And if we play through the verse, it's going to sound like this with that pattern. 3, 4. The idea is that you want a good driving rhythm with this song, but you don't want the strums to be too crazy. Notice we're still leaving quarter notes in there to kind of give it some space. It's not a real crazy strum. So in addition to those kind of basic strumming patterns, there are a couple more things that we might want to look at in regards to the strumming. One is like a variation that you could throw in on the last bar of the verse when you're going into the chorus. And that would be just to play the C chord once and let it ring for 2 beats, and then strum it for 3 and 4 with down strums. So that's kind of nice. It adds some tension to it. Let me play through that so you can see how it works. I'll actually play through the last 4 bars of the verse progression and then go into the chorus. So we'd have G, D, A minor, then C, 3, 4. So that's kind of nice. You pause there for a second. C, 2, 3, and that kind of lets you have a nice transition into the chorus. And those things are important in a song like this, especially where the verse and the chorus progression are the same chords. So it's nice to have some cue like that, you know, in the rhythm that lets you know that you're going from the verse to the chorus. Another thing that you can do is when you go into a chorus, the first 2 bars, you can strum each of those chords once. So like start off with a G, hey, hey, D, 3, 4. And then you strum normally through the rest of it. But just those first 2 bars, if you strum it once and let it ring, again, that kind of lets you know that you're transitioning now to the chorus, and it adds a little tension. It's a nice cue using the rhythm because, again, the chords don't change. When you're just strumming it once per bar like that, you might want to add a little something to it, like hit the bass note and then strum the rest of the chord and let it ring. So you're taking up a little bit more space than one strum, but the idea is that it's still ringing out for most of that bar. So you could start off like this. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And go into the rest of the chorus. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is there's a little fill in the chorus. Sometimes you'll hear the guitar player does this kind of D sus2 riff. And a D sus2 chord is basically just like a D chord, except you take whatever you're using to hold the first string down, you take that note off. So in this case, I'm using my second finger to hold down the first string, 2nd fret. A D sus2 has the first string open, okay? So this is a little bit more, not a total beginner riff, but still pretty easy to do. And basically what he's doing is something like this. And basically, you could pick it out like that, but I think with this song, it's really something you kind of have to strum out. Let me do a little close-up on this so you can see my strumming hand. Okay, so there are a lot of different ways you can play this kind of a D sus2 riff with a D chord, and I'll just show you one basic way, and then you can practice this on your own. So basically I'm holding down a D chord here, and then I'm strumming here with a pick. Got a thumb pick on, but I'm holding it like a flat pick. So what you might do is play this. Just strum all the strings of a D chord, 4th through the 1st string. Pick the 2nd string. Then we're going to take this 2nd finger note off so the 1st string is open. Strum all the notes in the chord, strings 4 through 1. Then put that 2nd finger back on the 1st string, 2nd fret, and pick the 1st string note. One more time, it would go like this. Okay, so on that first run through, we were using all downstrokes, but what you might want to do is practice using up and down strokes, because we're working towards just being able to do it as we're strumming, which means our hand will be going up and down like that. So you could start off kind of slowly, like that, trying to work it in. But eventually you're just going to have to sort of take a leap from doing it slowly to just trying to play it as you're strumming. And again, you can practice this over and over with the D chord. Maybe just start off strumming it, kind of in a similar rhythm to what you're going to be doing. And then try to work it in there. not going to be perfect, but it doesn't have to be. Basically, you want to be not thinking about picking these individual notes out. Once you've sort of practiced them, you kind of want to forget that, and then just think about, okay, I'm playing a D chord, taking this second finger off and putting it back on again. Okay, the most important thing, as is often the case, is that you have the feel of it down and that you don't miss the overall rhythm of playing through the song. And if you just want to learn how to play through this song and that's a little bit tricky for you, you can take a pass on it and just kind of strum basically. But that would be a fun thing to work on, is that D sus2 riff. Okay, so the song structure, we're going to start off with the intro, which I'll show you in a second. And then we go straight into the first verse. Then we go into the chorus. Then we have another verse, another chorus, solo over a chorus. And then finally we have the bridge, which is different chord progression, but nothing new in terms of chords. We have that A minor again for 2 bars. Then we have C with G in the bass for 2 bars. And we do that twice. So it's 8 bars total. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you might end the bridge with that same sort of strumming pattern that we've ended some of the verses with, because it's going to go back into another chorus. So just playing through the bridge again, we have A minor, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. C with G in the bass, A minor, C with G in the bass, 1, 2, 3, 4, then go into the chorus. And that chorus is going to be the same. That's the third chorus. And then there's another chorus after that, which is the fourth chorus. So we have 2 choruses after the bridge there. And the song ends on that last chorus, except the last bar is a little bit different. Instead of playing C with G in the bass for a whole bar, it's C with G in the bass for 2 beats, and then D for 2 beats, and then you strum a G chord, and that's the ending. So the last 4 bars of that last chorus will go like this. 1, 2, D, G, like that. Okay, so let's look at the intro now. We're going to start off here with this shape, which is the 3rd string open. We have 2nd string at the 8th fret, and we have the 1st string at the 7th fret. And you can just use your 2nd and 1st finger for those notes. And we're just strumming these 3 strings, strings 3, 2, and 1. It's a nice little chord here. This open G string, the 3rd string, is going to be kind of like a pedal tone throughout the opening riff here. And we can start off just basically strumming it in 8th notes. I think it might be helpful to use all downstrokes. That might help you get a better sound. So the first bar is just going to be this shape here for G. Just like that. The count's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right? Sometimes you might get another string in there by mistake. Don't worry about that too much, as long as for the most part you're hitting these strings here. All right? The next shape is going to be, the implied chord is a A minor 7 flat 5. If that sounds scary, don't worry. It's not a chord that you see too often, but it sounds kind of cool here, and we're going to play a very simple chord voicing here. And that is going to be, again, 3rd string open, 2nd string at the 4th fret, 1st string at the 5th fret. And again, we're going to strum it 8th notes, downstrokes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, like that. Okay? So the next shape is going to look like this, which is going to be 3rd string open, 2nd string at the 5th fret, 1st string at the 7th fret. And again, we're going to strum 8th notes, downstrokes. All right. Then we go back to this shape. Same thing. So the first 4 bars are going to go like this. Notice what I did here. I played this shape a little differently. I used my 1st finger for the 2nd string note and my 3rd finger for this 1st string note. If that works for you, you can do that because it makes it easy to transition back and forth between these 2 shapes. So that's the first 4 bars of the intro. The second 4 bars starts off with this shape right here. And there's a couple different ways you can play it. The 3rd string open once again, and then we're playing the 2nd string at the 3rd fret and the 1st string at the 3rd fret. So I'm using my 1st and 2nd finger. You can do that, or you can just use your 1st finger to bar across those 1st and 2nd strings at the 3rd fret there. Okay, same strum once again. 8th note strum, all downstrokes. Then we go back to this shape that we've seen. Then we go back to this shape. Then we go back to this shape. And then you just strum that and let it ring. And that actually becomes like the G that is the first bar of your first verse there. So that's a simplified version of the riff. You could play it like this. Okay, so that's like the intro in its simplest form. There is something else that you can add to it. When you're playing this shape, you can take your pinky and add a note on the 8th fret of the 1st string, like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on the and of 2, you can add on that pinky, and you can play it for the and of 2, then beat 3, then the and of 3, you're taking it off again. So let me just play that, and then you can see how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again. Okay, a little bit tricky, but not too bad. If you just want to practice it over and over again like we just did there, that might help you out with the timing. Then what we're going to do for this shape is add our pinky on to the 1st string 7th fret on the and of every beat. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like that. Okay, so those 2 bars. Okay, so let me play through the intro with that little added bit. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this lesson on how to play Archie Marry Me by Alvvays. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Just as a bonus here, I thought I'd go through the underlying chords in the intro, because I mentioned a few of them, but not all of them. So if you have a keyboard player or a bass player and they want to know what notes to play, then this will give them a clue. So the first one, like I say, is a G chord. And then the next one, I think the implied chord here, as I said, is A minor 7, flat 5, right? A little bit of a weird one, but this is an easy voicing. This one would be over an E minor chord, A minor 7, flat 5, G, A minor 7, flat 5, again, E minor, A minor 7, flat 5, and then when you hit that the last time, that serves as the first G chord in that first verse.